Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm Marco.
And I'm Erica. We're so glad you're here.
Before we dive in, don't forget to hit that subscribe button.
And join us to learn English from beginner to advanced. Let's get started.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive, the show where we basically take a huge pile of information and boil it down to the really interesting essential stuff, just for you.
That's the plan.
Today, we're going to unpack something that seems, really simple on the surface, but it's actually incredibly rich. Toys.
Toys.
You might think toys. Isn't that just kid stuff? But as we'll get into, the world of toys actually opens up this vast, pretty surprising universe. We're talking language, culture, even psychology.
Absolutely. Deep human insights, really, going way beyond just, childhood play.
Exactly.
So our mission today basically is to pull out the most important bits, the nuggets of knowledge, from a stack of really great sources.
Oh.
Specifically, we looked at a couple of English learning deep dives that focused exactly on this topic, which means we'll be exploring, well, not just the toys themselves, the physical objects, but also the specific words, the vocabulary, the expressions that bring them to life when we talk about them.
Think of this as your shortcut, maybe, to getting really well informed about something that, let's be honest, it sparks a bit of joy, maybe some nostalgia.
Oh, definitely nostalgia for pretty much everyone, right? Whatever your age.
Totally. So before we really dive in, just take a second. Think back. What was your absolute favorite toy when you were a kid? Was it like an action figure or a stuffed animal you couldn't sleep without? Maybe Lego? Building whole worlds.
Or maybe even now, right? Is there a toy you have now? Could be a collectible or even just a fancy gadget you think of as your, adult plaything.
Yeah, good point. Hold that thought. Because by the end of this, you'll have this whole new, much richer way to talk about it. You'll see all the surprising layers behind these, well, seemingly simple things.
It's actually incredible. Something so universal, so tied to our first memories, connects to so many big ideas, and even shapes the language we use.
Okay, let's get right into it then. First big idea. Toys are way more than just playthings for the sandbox.
Right. That's a key starting point.
This whole misconception that toys are just for kids. Well, our sources basically say, nope, not really.
Not at all. I mean, loads of adults have toys. We just tend to call them other things, don't we?
Like gadgets, yeah.
Yeah.
Or collectibles. Makes it sound more grown-up, maybe.
Exactly. But really, they serve a pretty similar purpose, right? Enjoyment, engagement, sometimes creativity, even connecting with people.
And what's really fascinating is how often toys, in that broader sense, pop up in conversation.
All the time. People talk about them constantly, maybe without even thinking about it.
Like when you're buying gifts for kids, obviously. Or telling stories about your own childhood.
Oh, yeah, reminiscing. Or people talking about their collections, their hobbies. They get really passionate, almost like when they were kids.
It's true. It shows it's not just about playtime for children.
Really?
It's something human, right? This need for fun, creativity, connection.
Totally. And the language connection is really interesting, too. The word toy itself.
Right. It's not just a noun, is it? For the object.
No, you can use it in other ways, like as a verb or in idioms, which is fascinating.
Like when someone says they're toying with an idea.
That's a perfect example. Toying with an idea. It means you're thinking about it, maybe considering it, but not like super seriously yet.
Just playing around with the concept in your head?
Exactly. Like a kid might poke at a new toy before really figuring it out. It shows how language borrows from the physical world, from play, to talk about, thinking.
It's a great usage. But for today, we're mostly sticking to toys as the actual objects, right?
Yeah, mostly the physical things we play with or collect or whatever. But that phrase, toying with an idea, it really shows how flexible the word is, how it reflects our experiences.
Speaking of experiences, personal connections, I definitely remember my favorite toy. Crystal clear.
Oh, yeah. What was it?
It was a remote control car. Nothing fancy, not by today's standards, just a basic RC car. But I loved that thing.
Could you name it?
I did. I called it Speedy, which, okay, not the most original name.
Sounds about right for a kid.
But it was just pure fun. That feeling of controlling it, making it zip across the floor, felt like I was actually driving. Simple joy,
I totally get that directness of childhood fun. For me, it was pink roller skates. I must have been about 7.
Roller skates. Nice.
They weren't just shoes with wheels, though. They felt like freedom. And they were bright pink, which made them feel really mine.
Yeah.
I can still almost feel it, you know? Gliding down the path, wind blowing. feeling like I could go anywhere. It's amazing how an object can bring back such specific feelings, right?
Totally. And thinking about creativity, problem solving.
Yeah.
I had this Brio train set.
Oh, the wooden ones, classic.
Yeah, the wooden ones.
Mm-hmm.
Not electric. You had to push it yourself, which I actually liked better. More control.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, my big challenge was always trying to use every single piece of track.
Oh, wow. That sounds hard.
It was.
Yeah.
To make it fill the whole living room. Some pieces just wouldn't connect right, you know. Lots of trial and error. A bit frustrating sometimes. But figuring it out, solving that puzzle, seeing this massive track snaking around the furniture that was just, wow, huge satisfaction.
That's a brilliant example. It's not just building, it's thinking, planning, sticking with it. Like basic engineering almost.
Yes, exactly. And that connects to collecting too, right? Another side of toys.
Definitely. Like I used to collect toy cars. Started small, matchbox size. Then I got more into the detailed scale cars.
The really realistic ones?
Yeah, miniature versions of real cars, super detailed. I actually tried building model kits first, cars and planes.
Oh, yeah. How'd that go?
Disaster. Hundreds of tiny bits, glue everywhere, crooked wheels. I just couldn't do it neatly. Made me really appreciate the pre-made ones.
Uh-huh. I can imagine.
But collecting them, lining them up, that was a different kind of fun. More about appreciating them, finding the ones I wanted, completing a set.
It taps into that human thing, right? Wanting order, wanting to complete something.
Exactly. A mini museum in your room.
It's true. Collecting is this whole other world. So, okay, we've got this huge variety of toys appealing to all ages. And naturally, there's a lot of specific language around them.
Right. And often we first hear these words, these terms, through things like toy commercials.
Ah, yeah. Those are designed to grab you, aren't they?
Totally. They weave in the vocabulary naturally. Kids watching, see the toy, hear the word, it sticks.
Okay, so let's break down some categories. First up, action figures. Can't talk toys without talking action figures.
A total classic. Defined basically as a small toy model of a person or character.
Usually from movies, TV, comics, that kind of thing.
Right. The source clarifies they're kind of like a doll, but usually for superheroes or adventure characters.
So more about adventure play than, say, nurturing play.
Pretty much. They often have joints you can move, right? So you can pose them for battles or whatever story you're making up. That's the action part.
Makes sense. Examples from the sources. Star Wars figures, obviously huge.
Timeless. And they mention specific X-Men characters, too. Wolverine, Jean Grey, Rogue, Professor X.
Right, and the ad even said you had to collect all 4 special editions to decide the future of the mutants.
Yeah, creating that hook, that reason to collect them all. Very clever.
Besides X-Men, you've got things like G.I. Joe.
Military theme, yeah.
And Toy Story figures, too. Buzz and Woody. Shows how broad the category is.
Definitely. And this leads straight into that collector's culture we touched on.
Ah, yes, keeping them pristine.
Exactly. The sources mention collectors keeping figures in mint condition, meaning never opened, still in the original box.
Why? Just to keep the value up?
Pretty much. Unopened, perfect condition items might be worth a lot more later. It's like an investment.
Wow. The willpower that must take. To have the toy but not actually play with it.
I know, right? Especially when they look so cool. It's a whole different way of appreciating them. Value based on rarity, not just play.
And that X-Men context brought up the word mutant.
Right. In that story, a mutant is someone born with special powers.
Like Wolverine's claws or Jean Grey's telekinesis?
Exactly. And the word itself connects to the verb mutate, which just means to change, usually genetically.
The source gave examples like, what, a frog with 3 legs?
Yeah, or a chicken with 2 heads. Animals that have, mutated. It shows how a word from a comic book.
Actually has a real scientific meaning, too.
Precisely. Pop culture introduces us to these words, makes them familiar, even if they have broader, serious uses. It links the fantasy to reality in a way.
Fascinating how language works like that. Okay, so from dynamic action figures, let's shift gears to something softer. Stuffed animals. Plush companions.
Ah, the comfort objects. Defined simply as soft toys shaped like animals filled with kadi or something similar.
Everyone knows these. They're all about comfort, warmth, feeling safe.
Right.
Especially for little kids.
Absolutely. Classic examples. A stuffed panda to sleep with. Or those huge ones you win at fairs.
The giant teddy bears.
Yeah, the source even joked about needing a bigger apartment if you win too many.
Ah, yeah.
It also mentioned plush toy as another term. You hear that more maybe in the UK or in stores when they want to sound a bit fancier.
Right, plush. Sounds a bit more luxurious than just stuffed.
Kind of,
Yeah.
but essentially the same thing. Soft, huggable, a quiet friend.
Okay, from soft comfort to uh, getting your hands dirty, creatively speaking, building and molding toys.
Yes, these are all about fostering creativity, building skills, and the biggest name here has to be Lego.
Oh, for sure. Lego, defined as little pieces you put together to build things, little blocks, basically.
And the magic is the freedom, right?
Mm.
The source says they don't look like anything at first, just bricks, but you can make anything you want.
Anything. Simple houses, complex spaceships. It's totally open-ended. Great for imagination, thinking in 3D.
Definitely. And it's not just random building now, is it? They have all those specialized sets.
Oh yeah, the themed sets are huge, like recreating Star Wars ships you mentioned. Or the source talked about a pirate Lego set from a commercial.
Right, build the whole ship, then decide who rules the sea. It gives you a story, a world to play in.
But you can still change things, add your own stuff. It's a good mix of following instructions and being
It
creative.
really is. And alongside Lego, the other giant in this category is Play-Doh.
Play-Doh. That smell is instant childhood recall.
Haha, yeah. It's described as a modeling compound, like clay, but softer, easier to squish and shape.
And safe. The source pointed out it's often made from flour and salt, so if kids, taste it,
Which they inevitably do,
it's not a disaster. Big plus for parents.
definitely. And creatively, kids can make anything. The source gave that simple example. Make a ball, add another ball for a head, little bits for ears. Suddenly you have a cow.
Teaches basic shapes, basic sculpting. And they have specific kits too, right? Like the one in the commercial.
Yeah, the Sparkling Brights Precious Gem Press, fancy name, with special molds and new colors.
Sounds glittery.
Probably. But then, that crucial phrase, the treasure chest to hold the gems.
Let me guess. Sold separately.
You got it. Sold separately. We'll come back to that phrase. It's important.
Always the catch. Okay, next category. Dolls and collectible artistry. Moving beyond simple play into the things that are sometimes more like art pieces.
Or investments, even. A key example here, porcelain dolls.
Right, these are definitely not the kind of dolls you take outside. They seem very delicate.
They are. Made from porcelain, described as a very fine, usually white ceramic material, gives them that smooth, almost glassy look.
The source connected porcelain to other things too, didn't it? To help us understand the material.
Yeah, like fine china plates you might eat off, or fancy teacups. Same stuff. Shows it's a quality material, used for delicate, valuable things.
I got that long history too, hasn't it? Porcelain, china, high temperatures.
Exactly. It's not just regular ceramic, it's crafted, which is why these dolls often cross over from toy to art object, and why they can be expensive.
How expensive?
Well, the example was a collector's edition nursery rhyme porcelain doll, Little Bo Peep, costing $199.
Wow. Okay. That led the kid in the source to say.
Yeah, she costs a pretty penny, which is another phrase we need to talk about.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So $199, that really highlights the collectible aspect, moving into general collectibles and special editions.
Right. These aren't just regular toys off the shelf. They're often seen differently.
Like investments, you said.
Yeah.
Or
Def-
limited edition art.
Yeah. The sources explain special edition, or collector's edition, means they're made specially, maybe just once, in limited numbers. They don't keep making them forever.
So scarcity is key.
Absolutely. That's what drives the value. They're aimed at collectors who, like with the action figures, often don't use them. They keep them pristine.
Hoping the value goes up.
Often, yeah. Or just because they love having something rare and special. The joy is in the owning, the preserving, the completing of the set, not necessarily the playing.
And it's not just dolls or figures, right? Collectibles can be anything.
Anything. The sources mentioned baseball cards, huge market there. Some are worth fortunes. Or special edition stamps, like ones for the 1996 Olympics. Things that mark an event, produced in limited amounts. It shows how wide-ranging collecting is. Sports, history, art. People collect everything.
That human urge to gather and keep things, it's powerful.
It really is. Okay, so we've covered the toys themselves. Now let's shift focus slightly to the language of play. These specific expressions that really make conversations about this stuff more natural.
Yeah, using these right is about more than just vocabulary, isn't it? It's about sounding fluent, sounding natural.
Totally. Adds personality nuance. Okay, first one. The phrasal verb play around with. Super useful.
Meaning?
It means to experiment with something or use it casually, not too seriously, and crucially, not just for physical toys.
Right, you could say, I'm just playing around with the settings on my new phone.
Perfect. Or the designer is playing around with different color schemes, experimenting.
Or back to the kids, they're just playing around with the Play-Doh.
Yeah.
No specific goal, just squishing it.
Exactly. And remember, toying with an idea. It's similar. Playing around with an idea means thinking about it without committing.
Got it. Very versatile.
Yeah.
But definitely casual, right? Not for a formal report.
Definitely not. Okay, next, a really common shortcut. Using into to mean interested in.
Ah, yeah, this one makes it sound much more natural.
It really does. Instead of saying like, my son likes superhero dolls, which sounds a bit basic.
You'd say, my son is really into action figures right now.
Exactly. Into. It's quick, common, sounds current, suggests more passion than just like.
Good tip. Okay, what about that phrase we kept bumping into?
Ah, yes. Sold separately. The bane of many a parent's existence.
It just means
The item isn't included, you have to buy it extra. Simple as that.
you see it everywhere.
Yeah.
On boxes in tiny print. Hear it at the end of commercials.
Yep. The Play-Doh treasure chest was sold separately. Batteries are often sold separately for electronic toys. It's just a standard practice.
Good to know exactly what it means. Now, what about Little Bo Peep's price tag?
Right. She costs a pretty penny. This idiom means it's very expensive.
It's funny because a penny is worth almost nothing.
I know. That's the counterintuitive part. A pretty penny means a lot of money. Significant cost.
And how do you use it? You have to say costs or is worth first.
Yeah, exactly. You can't just say, it is a pretty penny. It needs the verb. That vintage car costs a pretty penny. Or, maintaining that old house is worth a pretty penny.
Got it. Rolls off the tongue nicely.
It does. Okay, another one. Glow in the dark.
This was pretty straightforward, right? It
Okay.
glows, you can see it in the dark.
Yep. Emits its own light, usually after being charged by holding it up to a light source. Often has that classic green glow.
The source mentioned a SpongeBob yo-yo that was glow in the dark.
Right. Turns a simple toy into something cool at night. And you mentioned your scar stickers.
Oh yeah, stuck all over the ceiling. Made the whole room feel like space when the lights went out. Magical.
Classic example. Adds that extra bit of wonder.
Yeah.
Okay, last one. Ingenious.
Ooh, good word. Sounds smart.
It means smart, clever, innovative, a really good idea, very creative. It's high praise.
Like the example of the 3-in-1 board game. Chess, checkers, sorry, all in one box.
Exactly. The kid apparently said, that's ingenious. And it was, right? Clever design.
Yeah. And the other example, gloves that turn into mittens.
Yeah, with a little flap. Super practical, really smart thinking. That's ingenious design. It celebrates cleverness.
Great word. So, okay, we've got the toys, the concepts, the language. Why does all this matter? Why should our listeners care?
Well, first off, knowing this stuff just helps you navigate conversations better, right? Buying gifts, talking about your childhood, understanding hobbies. You have the words to do it more confidently, more naturally.
You don't sound like you're struggling for the right term or
Yeah.
using really basic language.
Exactly. It adds that nuance, that personality. It means you don't sound like a 5-year-old when discussing toys, even if it's just a casual chat. You can express the complexity of it.
And beyond just the practical conversation skills,
Yeah.
it shows something else, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think it shows the joy of discovery, really. How even a simple topic like toys can open up these huge areas of language, culture, psychology.
It reminds you that learning is everywhere, not just in textbooks. You find interesting stuff in unexpected places.
Definitely. It's about appreciating the richness in the everyday.
Okay, so let's quickly recap the main points of our deep dive. We talked about how toys are way more than just for kids.
Right. Adults have gadgets and collectibles. We even toy with ideas. It's about play, connection, creativity for everyone.
Then we hit the categories. Action figures, Star Wars, X-Men, G.I. Joe, and that whole collector thing, mint condition, and the word mutant.
Then soft, comforting stuffed animals or plush toys, pandas, giant bears.
Then building toys. Lego the blocks, the freedom, the themed sets like pirates.
Mm-hmm.
And Play-Doh, the soft, safe, moldable stuff for making anything, even sparkly gems,
With the treasure chest sold separately, of course.
of course. And then dolls and collectibles, like delicate porcelain dolls costing a pretty penny, leading to special editions of things like baseball cards or stamps, valued for their rarity.
And the language. Key phrases like play around with for experimenting.
Into, for being interested in something.
Sold separately for that extra purchase.
Costs a pretty penny for expensive things.
Glow in the dark for nighttime fun.
And ingenious for those really clever ideas.
Phew, covered a lot of ground. So now for the listener challenge.
Your turn to put this into practice.
Exactly. Try this. Ask someone, friend, family, colleague, about their favorite childhood toy. Do it in English, or share a story about one of yours.
And the key is, try to use some of the words or phrases we talked about today into, play around with, maybe even costs a pretty penny if it fits.
You'll be surprised how it flows once you try. It makes the conversation richer.
Absolutely. And finally, just a last thought to leave you with. Toys aren't just objects, not just plastic or fabric. They're like tiny mirrors, aren't they? Reflecting our culture, what we value, our technology, our dreams.
And that deep human need to create, to connect, to collect things even.
Yeah. They shape our memories, they shape our minds, and as we saw today, they definitely shape our language generation after generation.
Makes you wonder, doesn't it? What memories, what words, what insights are the toys in your life sparking right now?
Something to think about. We'll see you next time on The Deep Dive.